Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fortress.
That sounds so ominous, Una.
The Fortress of Nerditude is full of comedy and tragedy.
Tragedy?
Bridge, you still have the title of cooler host. And that, my friend, is a tragedy.
Well, you see here, Shakespeare was known for his tragedies, so I am in good company. You know who else is in good company? Our guest today, cosplayer Diana Bett. I bet you she will be the fabric that holds the show together.
She may even have us in stitches with her nitwit puns. I adore them. We will have to weave her into the second half of our show. See, I did it again. Diana can let us in on some of those little jokes later, but first, as usual, we'll talk about those nerdy things that will happen in between filming and the show. Whereas you can get your geek on in town and some alternate ideas to iconic wear and virtually travel to a nerdy place in the world.
We broadcast an glorious nerd person point of view, and that is much ado about something. Thou persons in thy production control, play thou'st video. If you haven't already heard, Marvel's new film, Deadpool, has been a box office smash, ranking in over $130 million in the opening weekend alone. If you haven't heard of the movie Deadpool, the only reasonable explanation is that you have been living under a rock. The more than tremendous effort put forth by the movie's marketing team has reaped the rewards of a great ad campaign. Commercials ran through major sporting events like the Christmas NBA games and the NFL Super Bowl. Not so safe for work PSAs were also released in which Deadpool urges citizens to get themselves checked annually for breast and testicular cancer. Even Betty White is on board with the film, giving it the title Best Movie of the Year and a rating of 4 Golden Girls. Fun fact, Golden Girls is Deadpool's fave show. The marketing team even created a Twitter account for the one and only Masked Merc. The only Twitter account Deadpool follows, you ask? Hello Kitty. You can bet your bottom dollar that along with saying Hello Kitty, the marketing team is now saying Hello Money.
Worldwide online market Amazon.com knows that being ahead of the curve is a major key to success. With the release of their new Terms of Service agreement, they put in one gem of a stipulation release. In the event of a widespread viral infection transmitted via bites or contact with bodily fluids that causes human corpses to reanimate and seek to consume living human flesh, blood, brain, or nervous tissue, and is likely to result in the fall of organized civilization. In case of a zombie apocalypse, you can fully disregard the terms of service. Thank goodness for the Wall Street Journal for bringing this to light. Otherwise, I don't think anyone would have found that quirky terms in the service quote. Because, let's be honest, when's the last time you actually read a terms of service agreement?
Google Street View is a 21st century way to view the world around us. It comes in handy in many situations, like when you have to venture to a place you've never been before. You know your new dentist's office is going to be on the right once you turn off Broadway, but what color is it, and what do the buildings surrounding it look like? As of about a month ago, you can now explore even more treacherous territories aside from your dentist's office, like Mont Blanc. The behemoth of the Alps now has 360-degree perspectives that you can view without having to leave the comfort of your computer screen. Google notes that with rising temperatures, Mont Blanc might just look pretty different in just a few short years, just like all those teenage mouths out there with braces. What, too many dentist jokes?
J.K. Rowling's digital platform Pottermore just announced that it will be releasing script books from London's upcoming and already sold out theater production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Parts 1 and 2. The story picks up with Harry Potter 19 years later and his son Albus, who is having to deal with the family legacy. These script books will give people across the world a chance to share the experience of the theater productions without actually being there. Don't forget that the film franchise spin-off, The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, is coming to theaters November 18th. Already sold out? The tickets are already sold out? This can't be! A CO tickets! Blast! I should have known that wouldn't work without my wand.
With Star Wars taking most of the spotlight in recent months, let's drift into some Star Trek news. The Smithsonian is restoring the original Starship Enterprise NCC 1701 from Star Trek's original run in the late 1960s. Only lasting 3 seasons, the series captivated its audiences to transcendent proportions, to see it grow into a worldwide phenomenon over the next 50 years. Initially used as a prop, the Enterprise will now be housed in the same space shared by Apollo 11 in the spirit of St. Louis in the nation's most vast historical archive. The craftsmen hope to have the restoration completed for the Air and Space Museum's 40th anniversary in July, also just in time for Star Trek's 50th in September. William Shatner is still a little ticked off by the historical venue, tweeting to them, "Did you break my ship? No, William, they're fixing it."
All of us here at N3 believe us to be pioneers. Pioneers of bringing the most pertinent nerd news, information, and entertainment to the forefront for the masses. Well, it turns out we've been copied. Self-proclaimed die-hard nerds Kevin Smith and Greg Gernberg have been given the green light by AMC to headline a show titled Geeking Out. On the show, they will be talking about all things geek. To that, I say, first,
Copycats,
knockoffs,
imitators,
replicators,
counterfeits,
carbon copies.
dittos.
We staked our claim, and it resounds. First.
Okay, now that we got all of that out of our system, let's come back down to earth and see what's going on around town. Local events. Roll 'em out, production peeps.
Who's that?
Well, fellow nerds, there are several exciting happenings coming up this March for you to enjoy. First up is the Japanese Doll and Cultural Festival. A combination of Hino Matsuri and Kodomoto No-Hai, the festival is focused on the happiness of children. With the titular dolls, tea ceremonies, ikebana bonsai, kimonos, and shoto calligraphy, all punctuated with taiko drumming and martial arts demonstrations, this is your chance to go to Japan without the virtual screen. Huh, still cool as host. March 5th at Simpson United Methodist.
You'll see me get it back today. Speaking of me, Selfie is the new art exhibition at the Mayfair Art Gym. The Selfie once had a proud history through the introspective works of Rembrandt, Hockney, Van Gogh, and Kahlo. Now, in these digital times, selfies are taken and thrown away without the thought they once held. This exhibit was designed to bring the inward look of the self-portrait back into the selfie of the modern age. Open through March 26th.
Denver's Museum of Nature and Science is holding a Girls and Science event. Featuring a variety of science clubhouses, girls will have the chance to meet successful women scientists and experience the many diverse opportunities a future in science, tech, engineering, and math can bring. Saturday, March 5th.
A little later in the month, they will also be opening a new exhibit, Robot Revolution. Hosted by Google and Boeing, the exhibit will boast an unprecedented selection of robots secured from around the world. With focus on coordination skills, locomotion, and the dawning of AI, You Should Dance On Down There opens March 18th.
Let's not forget, Chocolate the Exhibition is still rolling at the museum as well. Aztec markets, cacao trade, and memorabilia can't be missed. Sweet! It is open until May 8th, so get your cocoa fix before the summer heat melts it away.
Wings Over the Rockies will be opening a new traveling exhibit, Abandoned in Place. From the first unmanned space flights to the lunar landings, the exhibit provides rare insight into the research facilities that played a crucial role in those early days. It is a photographic investigation of the remnants of the American space program, from birth to the end of the Cold War. Dates are still being finalized, but this exhibit is set to be open until the end of March.
AnomalyCon is a chance to bust out your brass ray gun for a steampunk and alternate history happening. Everything from a Lego contest to a film festival and steampunk cosplay through scientific panel discussions in between. March 25th.
Mile High Magic will be debuting at the end of the month, a full-length documentary about Magic the Gathering and the people who love to play it, from the avid hobbyist to the tournament-bound, Tuesday, March 31st at the Sea Film Center.
If you are interested in any of these events, check out their websites for more information. No cons to go to? Need inspiration to wear a costume? When we come back, we'll look at everyday uses of iconic costumes. Roll those lovely commercials. And welcome back. We're about to play a game, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
We're going to look at some classic costumes and talk about what maybe some of their other uses could be. So I think we're going to get a screen up here.
And
Production peeps, is that...
what's happening? All right.
Okay.
So we're just gonna talk about what we think that those costumes could be used as alternatively.
We're going to try to avoid the, obvious things
Mm-hmm.
and go for some things that are maybe more creative.
All right, we have got first up on the board, we have got Slave Leia, classic costume, pretty quality, high quality construction, you can tell.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, I think that first and foremost, you could be one rockin' awesome short order cook. I mean,
True.
it gets hot back there. You don't have any sleeves. Sleeves are very gross, sweaty. You aren't like sweating in people's food. You've got a built-in apron.
It's pretty good.
Boom.
I think building off of that, if you were going to the gym to lift
good.
weights, that would be good too, because you get all hot and sweaty doing that, but you're still kind of covered up,
Mhm.
but you've got all the freedom to
Yeah.
breathe, right?
Yeah.
You have any thoughts?
Yeah.
or-
I was thinking maybe painting.
Oh, painting, yeah, that'd be good.
If you kept your skirt out of the way.
Yeah,
But
that
you
could
wouldn't
be
get
good.
paint on your clothes.
Yeah.
So that was my thought.
Sorry, they can't hear you. Do you mind speaking up a little bit?
Yes, painting.
Good. Hey.
So you wouldn't get paint all over your clothes because you wouldn't be wearing much clothes.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can go on to the next one now. Let us see.
And we have got the Fourth Doctor gracing us with his appearance. And, well, I think that what I would initially go with this would be cowboy.
Yeah, he's got the hat.
He's got the hat, got jeans on, he's got boots
Yeah.
with the fur. And
Yeah.
I feel like that scarf could be pretty easily converted into a lasso.
Yeah, I agree. I feel cowboy off of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or a home duster in a cold place. Because I feel like the end of the scarf
yeah.
could be used
Oh,
for
yeah,
dusting.
that
I
would
got
be a
that,
good
I got that.
duster.
Yeah.
Like as you walk, maybe dangle it. You could
Yeah, you could just sweep back and forth.
get it wet, use it as a mop.
Ooh,
Exactly.
It would make a nice mop.
Yeah.
Or if you were a runner, it might get a
Sweat.
little bit hot, but it would make a really nice sweatband if you soaked it.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Because
Right?
like every time
Or-
it got gross, you could just rotate it,
Yeah.
There you go.
keep it liquid.
Or a chimney sweep. He's kind of
Good.
nice and covered
Yeah.
up. He reminds me of that guy from Mary Poppins.
Oh yes.
But the scarf would obviously work as the broom, so you wouldn't have to carry around a big broom.
Dick Van Dyke. He
Yeah.
knew what was up.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's go to our
see
next
our next one up here, and we have got Sailor Moon. I feel that a good costume or something that would be really helpful is you could go all terrain with that hair.
All terrain with that
You
hair.
could.
I mean, it's just get a little bit of structural support. You could just kind of fling your head back and forth, and you're just going over mountains. There you go.
Yeah, it could be your rope, or if you were gonna
Yeah.
rappel? Is that the word?
Rappel?
Yeah, down a mountain, it kind of Rapunzel style.
There
use
you
your
go.
hair to climb down.
Yeah.
Or the boots are kind of cowboy bootsy, so
Yeah.
she could really go all terrain. She could ride her horse, then she could
Yeah.
climb up the mountain. She could use the hair as a lasso too, just like the Fourth Doctor. I don't know, it'd be.
Yeah. And the boots would protect from snake bites. So
Yeah.
Okay, well I think we'll go to our next one. Let's see, Batman.
We have Batman just in general.
Well, my first thought is he wears all black, and I have a lot of friends who are in theater, and so it makes me think of the techies, because they have to be backstage, and they have to be black, so that they
Okay.
blend in, and so I think that the Batman costume, aside from the big yellow logo, I
Mhm.
feel like in general would be a nice way to, stay backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Okay, the classic nerd. Well, my first thought is it makes me think of Lord of the Flies, because with Piggy's glasses, they used it to set a fire, and I just think those glasses have so much utility.
exactly. Yeah, and the bow tie too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Use it as a slingshot.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Slingshot.
Okay.
Or as a tourniquet, if you got wounded, it would be a great
Yeah.
option for tying it off.
Yep. All right, we've got next one.
Arthur Dent.
Arthur Dent. Yeah.
Hmm.
The best thing that I can think of is you are set to go to a Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, you are just set.
There you go.
Yeah. You don't even have to dry off.
You could use it if you were going to a con and you were like gonna wear a different costume. You could wear the bathrobe over it
Ooh.
and then like take it off, and it would just
For like dramatic reveal.
yeah, like a dramatic reveal,
There
or
you
like
go.
like a cape. It could flow behind you.
And then the towel could be if you like accidentally spill something,
Yeah, you can clean it
Right.
up.
or if somebody else does
Yeah.
and you're gonna slip, then you can just wipe that up with the towel.
Yeah, or you could be like a waiter or a janitor
Mhm.
or something like that. Your job would be cleaning up other people's messes.
Bus boy.
Exactly.
Busboy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Busboy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
we've got one more. Let's see what it is. Oh, Darth Vader.
Vader.
We've got Darth Vader. You know, I think that you would be awesome as like the first thing people see when they like wake up from like a coma. Like that could be like your profession is just going around hospitals like cheering people up when they woke up from a coma.
See, I don't think that would cheer me up.
You know,
I think it would scare people more.
But I feel, you know, people would be like, oh, terror, and then it would be like, oh, ha ha, but it's Darth Vader. You know, you get that like that good dichotomy.
I was thinking somewhere where like there's gas, because then there'd be
Oh,
like
like
a
the
gas
gas mask.
mask.
Or I think this could really go for like any Jedi or Sith or whatever, but the lightsaber would work really great for like cutting things that you needed to like burn at the same time. So like either if you needed to like cauterize a wound, or if you need to like slice toast, or
There you
if
go.
you want to be
Yeah.
a chef or whatever, like it just like you could just do two things at once instead of having to like slice it and then heat it up. You could just
Yeah.
do them at the same time.
You could be like a butcher.
A
And just
butcher.
cut whatever you
Yeah.
needed off, and it would already be cooked and like
Then
made to order butcher. You got the whole cow right there, and you're just like, there you go, ribs.
Exactly. And you wouldn't get any of that meat juice on you.
That's yeah. Unfortunately, we are out of time as much as we would love to continue talking about costumes. So we are wrapping up and commercial. Welcome back, friends, Roman, and countrymen. We are back once again with our classic game, Where on the Virtual Screen Am I? I will be guessing today in order to reclaim the cooler host moniker.
I don't know. I think Una's got a pretty good shot this week, but you know, fingers crossed. All my fingers. My feet are crossed. Everything's crossed. Maybe she won't get it, but I don't know.
Everything is
We'll see.
crossed in the alternate.
Okay, well, let's get started.
Right,
You want
right.
to pull them down?
All right. Everything is black. I'm good. Let's go.
Okay. Your first clue is that this city has only one stop sign.
That sounds exciting. Ooh, I bet that's somewhere in Australia. Let's go with Sydney.
No. The oldest bridge in this city is actually named New Bridge.
London?
No.
We've already
That
done
was
London.
last week.
Sorry.
There are more dogs in this city than children.
Dubai.
No. The government of this city gives out medals to parents who have successfully raised several children with dignity.
That sounds European. Is it Dublin?
No. This city has 6,100 streets in it.
Venice?
No. What? Venice?
I don't know.
Venice?
Are we counting the rivers as streets?
No.
Okay.
In this city's country, you can legally marry dead people.
Was I in the right ballpark with Europe?
Yes.
Okay. Legally marrying dead people. Where else in Europe? Is it somewhere in Wales?
No, it's.
Okay, Wales is general. But,
You want the next-
Oxford.
No.
Okay.
In this city, it's considered rude if you do not say hello to the clerk in a store as you walk in.
France?
Do you have a city?
Paris.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, look at Una. Una, do you want your crown?
I can see!
Do you want to hear the rest of the clues? Because they're pretty interesting.
Yes.
So this city is the world capital of shopping and fashion. So, that one's pretty helpful. It's the most visited in the world. And it has the most visited art museum in the world. So,
Cool.
pretty
Okay.
interesting. The Louvre, obviously, but
The
the Louvre, that's fun
Cool.
to say.
Yeah, really is. Nice word.
So now we'll get to our nerdy tie-ins. During World War II, when Hitler visited Paris, the French cut the lift cables on the Eiffel Tower so that Hitler would have to climb the steps if he wanted to reach the top.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty funny. Paris is thought to have the first dog cemetery, the Cimetière des Chiens. I don't know. I take Spanish. Which opened up in 1899. Its most famous resident is the 1950s canine movie star Rin Tin Tin. This pup was rescued from Paris by an American soldier during World War II and lived with him in LA. When Rin Tin Tin died, his owner sent the body back to Paris to be buried in the dog city of birth. Since 2015, Paris has had its own Comic-Con. France is the home to the second largest comic book event in the world, the Angoulême International Comics Festival, which takes place annually each January, attracting creators from all corners of the industry and attracting an estimated 200,000 visitors during its 4-day run. Wow, they keep giving me so many French words. I don't speak French. This is hard. Musée des Arts et Métiers, which translates to the Museum of Arts and Crafts, sounds like it should house papier-mâché sculptures and googly eyes. Instead, it houses many cool and nerdy things like Pascal's original calculating machine from 1642, James Watt's steam engine from 1780, Lavoisier's gasometers from 1785, Edison's phonographs, film camera prototypes by the Lumiere brothers, 1895, a paper-making machine circa 1830, models detailing the evolution of the Statue of Liberty, the original Ford Model T, and a Chinese abacus from the 19th century. The Pasteur Institute in Paris is dedicated to the study of biology, microorganisms, diseases, and vaccines. It's named after the Frenchman Louis Pasteur, who gave us the pasteurization process and made many discoveries in the fields of chemistry and microbiology. These included the vaccines for anthrax and rabies. Since 1908, 8 Pasteur Institute scientists have been awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine and Physiology. So, it's pretty neat,
Yeah,
right?
hey.
Lots of different things. So, that's it for virtual screen. I think we're going to roll commercial, and then we will have our guest on.
Pretty exciting. So, roll commercial.
Emily Griffith Technical College is turning 100 years old, and we want you to join in the fun. The Emily Griffith Foundation is presenting a year-long community celebration, opening doors of opportunity for 100 years. Here's how you can play a part.
Are you 1 in 2 million? Shop Automotive has donated a 3-year lease on a Mini Cooper that one lucky alum of Emily Griffith Technical College will win. All you have to do is sign up.
Go to egfoundation.org for more information.
Hello. Hi. What are you waiting for? What are you afraid of? You jump right in. Shooting video. You have a camera in your hand more than a book. Learn from my dad. He won't waste your time. Learn video production. My dad will teach you. You can do this.
And we're back with local cosplayer Diana Bett. She's from the House of Loki Cosplay, and she's here to talk to us a little bit about her work and her costumes.
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Thanks
Hello.
for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just jump right in here. Tell us about your nerd cred. What makes you a nerd?
Well, I suppose I could start by greeting you, Ellen Sila Lumen Elvo.
Oh!
I have been a nerd since I was very, very young. That is Elvish. It's out of the Lord of the Rings books. It means a star shines on the hour of our meeting. So I was reading Tolkien in elementary school. I wanted to grow up to be a Jedi.
Hey.
But obviously, costuming is my big one. So yeah, I have a little of everything.
Yeah. Awesome.
So how long have you been cosplaying?
I wore my first costume to Denver Comic Con in 2013.
Wow.
My mom made that one for me. It was Kid Loki. And then it was a little less than 2 years ago I started sewing my own.
Sweet. That's a pretty quick evolution from your first cosplay to
I've
this
had a
majesty.
lot of help.
Well, hey. What got you into it? Like, what inspired it?
Obviously, I said I've been a nerd my whole life, and I kind of always wanted to do it. My friends would always go to NandesCon every year, and I thought, wow, cosplay looks like so much fun. But I didn't have a character I really wanted to do until, yes, it was Tom Hiddleston's Loki.
Hey.
That got me reading the comic books, and I fell in love with the comic book version of Loki more than the movie. Also, those costumes are terrifying to make. So yeah, it was the Marvel movies.
Sweet.
Awesome. So we see that you brought some costumes with us. Do you mind telling us about them?
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm wearing one of them. This is from Disney's Sleeping Beauty.
Wow.
There's a moment. Which way is the camera? There's a moment in the show or movie where the fairies are fighting over the color, and they both get the dress at the same time. And when I was 4, that was the dress I wanted, because I'm a very strange child, and
Hey.
that's so. Now that I'm making my own costumes, I figured I could make that.
Yeah.
This was the first one that I ever made, and again, I had a ton of help with it. But this is a comic book version of Loki.
Sweet.
And it is super, super comfortable, actually. It's made of this like really, really lightweight t-shirt material.
It looks like it.
And so even though there's fur on the shoulders, it's actually very, very comfortable to wear. And unlike a lot of spandex bodysuits, I have a shirt and pants, so it's actually reasonable to wear it for an entire day.
Yeah, we've got
And
a
then-
picture of you up in it, and we'll see if that'll pop up. But yeah,
Of course, the most spectacular part of it is
yeah.
these.
Of course, the horns.
Which are made out of a material called Warbla. I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but it's a thermoplastic that you can heat mold. And so these are very, very lightweight and remarkably easy to wear.
Nice. That's impressive.
That was the first one that I made
one
with
that
a
started
lot
it
of
all.
help. The next one that I have for you is another comic book character, another one of Thor's villains. This is Malekith the Accursed. Now, I have a picture of it, which will explain a lot more.
All right.
But this is all pleather. It's glued together. It's been painted. This is a very different level of construction. If you look at it up close, it does not look nearly as well made. But the spectacular thing about that one is that I have full body paint. It takes 3.5 hours to get into.
Whoa.
You know, it's got the long wig and a couple of other fun pieces, which he has armor pieces, which are again made out of Warbla.
Sweet.
So he's got the spiked shoulders. And at the time that I decided to make the costume, he was wandering around with Thor's arm around his shoulders. He had cut off Thor's arm and decided to wear it as an accessory. So I had this made. I didn't make this one because I looked at that character and I thought, what could I do that would really bring this to life? And I thought having a severed arm on my shoulders was the one. Now, unlike Loki, that one is extremely uncomfortable to wear. It is head-to-toe leather, body paint, which after a while itches, long wig, which is heavy, and then you put this around your shoulders, and you can feel it. It's very heavy.
Oh boy.
And you can't turn your head side to side at all. So I have to have somebody with me on that one, because I can't do much of anything.
Your chaperone.
I have a handler.
Handler.
Hey, you know, whatever gets you
Technical
through the
term.
con.
And then the third costume that I have is a Cecil costume from Welcome to Night Vale. And this is actually mostly out of my closet. I have a couple of different shirts that I wear with it. I have a tie that I bought, and I tied with an eldritch knot because I'm a nerd. This is actually my gaming headset. It's not a costume piece. I did make the vest because I found this lovely purple fabric and thought, hey, I should make that. But it's a really, really easy costume to wear. It's extremely comfortable. I mean, it's just clothes like I wear anyway. And you can get almost anything you need for a costume like this at a thrift store. You'll see
Yeah.
on the picture, I have some body paint on that one as well. He's often drawn with a third eye or a tattoo, and I think that's a lot of fun. But that one was really, really easy to put together.
Yeah.
I just made the vest. I could have bought it, and I did buy the rest of it. So
Nice. Well, just from showing us your costumes, you've got quite a range here. What's your favorite type of character to cosplay?
I almost always cosplay villains, specifically really fabulous evil men. Loki, Malekith. I did Belema Brassix from Jupiter Ascending. Most people didn't see that, but the costuming was wonderful. I'm currently working on General Hux from the new Star Wars movie. So that's usually what I do. And of course, I'm wearing a Disney princess today. But those characters I find are a lot of fun. And you have a lot of fun interacting with the heroes that you run into when you're wearing something like that.
Gotcha.
So you were telling us about how some of them are less fun to wear. How do you have any advice for how to balance comfort and practicality?
It kind of depends on what you want. Are you going to be wearing the costume all day? Do you have a hotel room you can go back to rest? Are you planning on changing? Some people will put on a costume for just a couple of hours in a day because it's so unwieldy, because it's so difficult to wear. I personally usually don't stay at the convention. I usually drive in, so I'm usually wearing it for 15 hours. In which case, you want to make sure that you have somebody with you, especially like Malekith. I can't turn, I can't look, I can't see anything. If you're wearing contacts, sometimes you can't see at all. So you have somebody with you, somebody to carry your things, especially if you are in a costume where people are going to be stopping and saying, hey, can I get your picture? Having somebody else to carry your things so that every single time you don't have to go, let me set these down,
Gotcha.
is really helpful. And then the biggest one, so many costumes are very, very warm. Like even this was designed to be worn in the summer at the Renaissance Festival, and I'm still warm in the studio.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is make sure that you stay hydrated and make sure you eat, because if you overheat, you will pass out.
Are you speaking from experience, or?
Not personally.
Okay, good.
Close,
Yeah.
very close. Loki's fur on his shoulders is very warm, and the hotel that NDK used to be at didn't have a lot of air circulation. And so I had to stay outside, or I probably would have ended up passing out.
Well, we're thankful you didn't. But we are going to play a game with you real quick. So last week, our resident nerd tried to name as many cosplay items as she could in 30 seconds. We got to 11. So we will...
Now, when you say items, I make my costumes. So when I talk about items for cosplay, I can be talking about materials or just things for the finished costume.
You know, since you are a professional, we are going to give you a little more liberty and say anything.
I mean, we'll judge whether we think it's valid or not, but anything that you think you could use to make a cosplay, but you know, we might
We
have
won't
to
take
defend
like
it.
shirt, but we will take like
Okay, but shoes are a very specific thing with
Yes.
costumes.
If you say a specific type of shoe, I think that's acceptable. But
Yeah.
just shoes as a general.
Yeah. Like, I try to get as specific as you can. I'll be keeping score.
And I will be timing.
Okay.
You got
Are you
30
ready?
seconds.
Yeah, let's try
On
this.
your mark, get set, go.
Wig, colored contacts, body paint, fabric for making the costume, warbler for making the costume, armor pieces, weapon pieces, whatever shoes you can actually stand in for 12 hours, latex prosthetics, spirit gum for attaching them. What else do we have? I've talked about weapons and props. You can have bags and stuff for carrying things that are with the costume. You can have jewelry made. I have rings that have been made for one of my costumes.
Time.
Hey, you beat our resident nerd. Woo! Michaela, you've been dethroned. All right.
Well, awesome. We are excited that you're going to come show us some fabrics and their properties and how we can use them. So join us on the demo set after a quick break.
Yeah.
We'll start loosening up those muscles for that rub.
Skinology. It's much more than a name.
Really, my company is truly about inspiration. I have a really deep passion and love for skin. I put a lot of pressure on myself to always try to be the best.
Sounds like ingredients for success. Meet Kimberly Shook, the owner of Skinology.
When I say someone that I'm a skin therapist, immediately they're in love with me, which I love.
That love turns into new business.
They want to know where I work, what I do, what I can do for their skin. And so it makes you really proud of your career.
Kim started like many.
I was actually very nervous to start aesthetics school. I'm not the best at spelling or pronunciation.
She succeeded because of the support of the Emily Griffith faculty.
Let's start with the teachers. All sweet, all supportive. I can't believe how much Emily Griffith Technical College has helped me personally and my career. They really invested a lot into me. I really felt it while I was there as a student. And I think because of that love and support, I was able to have more confidence in myself.
Kim's passion leads her.
I wanted to make a true difference in women's lives and in my own.
Now, she's using her education to help clients.
I have so many people that come to me and just tell me that I've changed their life. I really get to watch my clients kind of blossom with this confidence. It's really quite exciting to know that I was part of that change.
But is a facial better than the happiest place on earth?
The client really made me feel really special. I had a wife buy for her husband a gift card. I saw him. He told me I was better than Disneyland.
She's been meeting the needs of clients since 2012.
I actually opened this place while I was in school. I really kind of went from school to here. So I'm a little bit unusual.
What's not unexpected is hard work and dedication.
I never truly have a day off, which is okay because I'm so passionate and so in love what I do. I've been able to open a business for myself. I can do anything I want, right? And I'm not talking about my schedule. I'm talking about that I can truly give back to the community. For Skinology, we do 2 fundraisers a year, and every month we give to a different charity. We have raised and donated almost $10,000 in the 3 years that we have been open. And I'd have to say that's probably my greatest accomplishment, is that I've been able to not only support myself, but I've been able to give back. And that speaks volumes to me.
Welcome back. We are here on our other set to talk about fabrics, which are obviously a huge part of cosplay.
Very much. I work at a fabric store, and I run into a lot of people who say, I'd love to get into cosplay, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about sewing. I don't know anything about building from patterns. And they say, I don't know anything about fabric. Well, you can take sewing classes, and you can go on YouTube and you can find instructional videos on any sewing technique you want. But where do you go to find out what's going on with fabric?
That makes sense.
So I have on my blog that I run, I've been doing a series of posts about this kind of thing, and so I brought some to demonstrate.
Awesome.
So just some basic ideas. The very first thing that I'm going to mention is some fabrics are knitted.
Sparkly.
This is not for a costume, just something I picked up. But if you look, first of all, it stretches.
Cool.
More in one direction than the other. But if you look very, very closely, you will see that you can actually see the stitches like you were knitting with a very, very small pair of needles. Knitted fabrics always stretch. And so if you need to have a skin-tight bodysuit, you're probably going to be looking for either a knit or something like spandex, which is a special case, and I'll show you some in a moment.
All right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Actually, I will grab my spandex while I'm talking about stretch fabrics.
All right.
Spandex, this is a scrap from a costume, is actually a fiber that stretches. And so if you find a cotton spandex or something like that, something that doesn't look like knit but stretches, it probably has some spandex content. This is the iconic superhero material, and you can see it's very, very shiny.
Yeah.
Which is a great look if you want. I have Captain Marvel is one of mine, and she's in a full
Gotcha.
spandex bodysuit, and it's nothing looks quite like it. Kind of a pain to sew. This is the big thing about stretch fabrics, is that it's going to be a little bit of a pain. I have something here that this is actually a silk, but you can see it stretches. That's because it does have some spandex woven into it.
Neat.
So if you are looking for something that needs to be fitted, Stretch fabrics are great. Knit fabrics, spandex, whatever. Now this is fitted, but is not a stretch. That takes a little bit more tailoring, a little bit more fitting. What I am wearing today is cotton muslin. It's incredibly cheap and incredibly cool. And it is not a stretch. It's very, very easy to work with, very, very easy to wash. And not many people use it for things like this because you can see this doesn't look like a princess's dress. It's bright and colorful, but it looks tie-dyed. So if you are going to be looking for a non-stretch fabric, you need to think about what does it actually look like.
Yeah.
This does not shine. It doesn't look like fine fabric like this fancy silk that I showed you. That looks expensive. You would make a princess's dress out of silk. So when you are thinking about it, okay, do you something else. Do you want the look of silk, or do you want something that's more of a cotton, like I am wearing, or like this, which I found at the store? If you are looking for a print, if you want to have a nerdy t-shirt or a nerdy thing,
Looks like my bow ties.
it's pretty much always going to be a cotton. It's not going to be a stretch fabric. It's going to be something that's easy to work with, which is great. Sometimes you need something a little bit more. I have another one. That one's fun too.
Ooh, that's also cool. That one.
Sometimes you need something a little bit more specific. You need to say, okay, I don't just need to look like I'm wearing something a princess would wear, but I need to look like I am wearing leather. So I have some things that I have bought for that purpose. Now this one is the least leather looking. It's just a cotton. But if you look at the color variation in it, it's going to be a shirt underneath several layers of things, and I figured I'd rather not be wearing that many layers of leather, so here's that. If I can find, this is a faux suede, which looks a little bit more like leather. At the store where I work, you find this in the home decorator department, and that's something to be aware of. If you're looking for cosplay fabrics, don't stick with where you necessarily would expect to find them, because a lot of the faux leathers are actually in home dec. Oh, do I have? Aha! And here is a different option for faux leather.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
This one is actually not even really all that faux. Look, it stretches. It's got a spandex backing. It will be workable very much like any other fabric.
Cool.
I introduced several things for faux leather because leather itself is a pain to work with.
I'm sure.
You need special equipment. It's very expensive. So faux leathers are better. I've actually begun working on my very first real leather piece in the last couple of months, and it's intimidating. It was a $200 hide, so.
Wow. What hide did you use? Or?
I went to Tandy's and got one of their BioSilk ones because it was the only one in the right color.
Gotcha.
But leather is scary, kind of intimidating, and there are options out there for that.
So I think we have time for maybe one more fabric. You want to show us?
I have, okay. Some things, if you need gold, if you need armor pieces, if you need metal, you can have something like this. Now these are actually both spandex fabrics. This is called a foil spandex.
Cool.
And when I did Wonder Woman, I made her gauntlets and her little chest piece and everything else out of the foil spandex. So some fun things.
Rolling up. We ran awesome time, but we are Nerd Necessities Network. Check us out. I'm Una. This is Bridget. That's Diana, Bett, and
you can watch us on YouTube.
thank you
very
so
much.
much.